Good morning and welcome to Stowe School at Queen's Temple, where today we have the gathering of Stowe pupils, Stowe Group, Winchester House and Swanbourne House. And they're here to ask questions to rugby legend Dylan Hartley, former Northampton and England rugby player.
Rugby legend,
I slipped that in there. I slipped that in there. I felt so wrong saying that.
Hi, I'm Dylan Hartley, former England and Northampton rugby player. I'm delighted to be here today at Stowe School at the Queen's Temple, where I'll be getting involved in the Wellness Centre once it's open in September.
Hi Dylan, I'm Noah. Did you always want to be a pro rugby player when you were younger?
Yes and no. I always had dreams and aspirations of doing it. I grew up in New Zealand where rugby is basically religion and forced upon you from a young age. So I always had dreams to be an All Black. I ended up playing for England, which is strange in itself. But it wasn't an achievable dream till I was 17, 18, 19 years old, something that I could get after. And that is why I'm looking forward to working with you guys, trying to give you the tools and the direction for you to achieve your dreams.
Hello Dylan, I'm Ethan from Swanbourne House School. Currently, who do you think is the best player in the world in rugby and why?
Ethan, difficult question, thank you. I mean, look, you've got to look to New Zealand. Bowden Barrett, playing out of position, still a world-class player. Aaron Smith, one of the best halfbacks in the world. But let's look more closer to home. Six Nations currently on. Anton Dupont, there's a lot of nods around here probably, yeah, one of the best scrum halves in the world. And he's playing in what is a really exciting French team that kind of complements his abilities. So for me, the most talked about rugby player at the moment is Anton Dupont, the number 9 for France.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan.
Hi Dylan, I'm Oscar, I'm at Winchester House School. And what is one piece of advice you would give to a young person who aspires to be a pro rugby player?
Good question, Oscar, and I wouldn't even tie it to rugby. I'd tie it to anyone aspiring to be good at any sport or professional at any sport. I would say seek help earlier. I didn't seek help in my career till I was probably 28, 29, 30 years old, in the twilight of my career. And you know, if you want to get better at something, find people that can help you do it. Find people that understand training, techniques, skills, diet, nutrition, all these things. Because there's a lot of people out there with a whole lot of knowledge. You don't know all the answers yourself. So if you want to get better at something, find people that can help you get better. Good question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello Dylan, I'm Isabella and I go to Swanbourne House School. What is your next ambitious goal?
Isabella, that wasn't in the brief. You just curveballed me. It's a great question. It's a great question. My next ambitious goal is difficult because when you play rugby, you have a goal every day to train and every weekend to play, to perform. And if I'm honest, I've just finished 16 years of chasing goals and knocking them off and winning and losing and that sort of cycle, I suppose. And now I'm transitioning into the real world of having to work. And part of that is wanting to coach, wanting to mentor, which is why I'm here. I want to be involved in helping young people, give them the tools to kind of chase their aspirations. So my next kind of ambitious dream, I'm still trying to work out. But in the meantime, I'm trying to help a few people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Dylan, I'm Ewan. How do you cope with the mental pressures of being a captain?
Hi Ewan. Good question. I was a captain at 15 years old, and then I was the youngest ever Premiership captain at 23, and then I went on to captain England as well. And every time that I got asked to do it, I thought, why me? I couldn't do it. But I think experience is a great teacher. By the time I'd finished playing my rugby, I found ways and tools to deal with the pressures of captaincy. And unless you go through those, you'll never improve at them. So while it might seem kind of hard work when you're amongst it, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And like I said before, there's always people that can help you. And I mean, if you're playing in a team as well, you've always got other players in your team, you've got coaches, people that you can talk to, people that you can delegate. Because that's the one thing about captaincy, you can't do it all by yourself. It's about delegating, trusting people to do their jobs in the team, and it frees you up to be a player ultimately and a good captain. So as you get older, are you a captain?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you get older, it'll get easier, as long as you want to get better at it. Good luck. I hope you get better at it.
Hello dear, my name's Olive and I go to Winchester House School. If something happens on the pitch, for instance penalty, how do you regather yourself as well as your team?
Hi Olive, I didn't always get this right in my career, but again, what I said earlier, experience is a great teacher. And the one thing that we as a team, regardless of what team I played in, whether it was Northampton or England, we concentrated on was the next action. So something might go wrong, but then you don't want to compound that error with another error, and then another error. So it's finding a positive after a negative. So that's happened, move on, let's go do a good job next. Sound enough? Good question, thank you.
Dylan, did you always stick to the same pre-match meal before every game?
No and yes. When I was younger, I didn't, because I didn't know what I was doing. Like I said before, seeking nutritional advice was something I didn't do, but then towards the end of my career, I really understood what I needed to do to fuel my performance. So yes, by the end of it, I did eat the same things, but I wasn't too scripted, because when you travel and you go to a hotel, they might not have exactly what you want. So you've got to be relaxed enough to be able to adapt. Do you want to know what it was?
Yeah.
Pre-match?
Yeah.
Big bowl of porridge with a bit of fruit and stuff like that, a bit of honey, and then I'd have 3 eggs on 2 pieces of toast and lots of water. But the other thing about nutrition is it's not the day of the game or the day of the race or the day of competition. It's what you're doing building up to that. So the evening before, are you drinking enough water? Have you got enough carbohydrates? Are your energy stores kind of high? So it's not just the morning of the game, it's the 2 days before building up to it as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello again, Dylan. When you started playing rugby in New Zealand, who was your inspiration?
Easy. There's this guy called Jonah Lomu. You probably don't know him. He sadly passed away. But when I was 10 years old, it was the 1995 World Cup. Geez, that sounds weird, doesn't it? 1995, you have to cut that. It was the 1995 World Cup. I was 10 years old, and this guy, Jonah Lomu, came onto the scene. He was like 6'7", he was 120 kilos, and he could run the 100 metres like Usain Bolt. He was unbelievable. And what Jonah did, he took rugby not only in New Zealand but globally. He put rugby on the map. Everyone knew who Jonah Lomu was, and every kid wanted to be him. I wanted to be him. Sadly, I wasn't fast or big enough, so I ended up playing front row. But Jonah Lomu for me was my rugby hero.
Okay, thanks.
Did you have a plan B, and if so, what was it?
I didn't have a plan B. I left at New Zealand at 16 with aspirations to play professional rugby, and my attitude towards it was, if it doesn't work out, I can work out that because I'm young enough. So it's a difficult conversation to have, because I think you need balance in your life, especially at 17, 18, 19 years old. You need to be studying, you need to have hobbies and interests outside of what you're doing. But on the flip side, I feel like you're young enough to commit yourself fully into chasing something. And if that doesn't work out for you, you've still got time to work other things out. So for me, I didn't have a plan B. I went all in, and is it lucky for me that it paid off? I'm not sure.
Hi Dylan. Moving from New Zealand to England, did you ever wonder what could have happened if you stayed in New Zealand and potentially played for the All Blacks?
If I'd stayed in New Zealand, I truly believe I wouldn't have played for the All Blacks. I don't think I was good enough. I went to a school steeped in rugby history, a community college, nothing like this. This is beautiful. My college was completely different. But I played in a team with All Blacks, I played in a team with Super Rugby players, and I wasn't making any of those rep teams. So what I did, I looked for an avenue to shake things up. I moved to England, I did a school exchange, and I truly believe by coming here, the coaching I got, the teams I played in, the development that I got here led to me being a professional rugby player. Now, I didn't turn up here at 16 and was a good rugby player. It took years of coaching, years of mentoring, years of help and playing the game to get better. So, do you know what? If I'd stayed in New Zealand, would I have played professionally? I don't think so. I got my opportunity through being here in England. Thank you, Oscar. Get inside and get warm. Olive's back. What have you got for me?
If someone was to come up to you and say, I can't do it, what would be your response?
My daughter says it to me most days. My daughter's only 5 years old, and I say you can do it. Like there's always a process to what you can't do, and when you look at doing something that's quite big or quite hard, something that you want to achieve, it looks really far away. But when you actually break down how to get there, it can become really easy. It's like what I said to you before about giving away a penalty and following it by a good action. You know, having a goal or trying to achieve something seems really distant, but if you break it down to little steps and take it step by step, get better, you know, everyday little steps, all of a sudden you can achieve those things that you think you can't do.
Hello. If your daughter wanted to play rugby, would you let her, and how would you help her along the way?
100%. My daughter's 5 and she already plays rugby. Well, what she thinks is rugby, just by tackling and running into me. Look, I think kids should try their hand at everything. They should give everything a go. And if she shows an interest and wants to spend more time with rugby, badminton, tennis, whatever it may be, I will help and guide her on that journey. So, do you know what? I think it's, as a parent, my job to provide as many opportunities for her to experience things, and whatever she falls in love with, you know, I'll back her. Good question. Thank you. Huge thank you to everyone for watching today, and a huge thank you to our students from the Stowe group for their fantastic questions. I look forward to working with you guys here at the Queen's Temple at Stowe School, mentoring any aspiring athletes, sportsmen, sportswomen, people that want to chase their dreams. I look forward to working with you guys. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.